Look at that. Hot on my heels. You know, you didn't have to cut your catch-up short just to keep me company. Oh, but I guess you panicked when you realized that I might enter Irminsul ahead of you.
Shut your beak, jailbird! No way a prisoner gets to be so smug!
I understand that prisoners have to put up with harassment from the guards, but right now, I'm on temporary release, so maybe you should think about backing off a little.
Sounds like a successful rendezvous. I need to be quite clear about something. In a few moments, you'll be entering into the innermost region of Irminsul. It is an environment like no other, and the most important place in all of Sumeru. Unlike anywhere else, Irminsul's inner region consists exclusively of torrents of information. You must put aside your differences and be extremely careful as you navigate your way through. I know there are many grievances between you, on both sides, but it is essential that you remain calm after entry. This is as much for your own safety as anything else.
Fine. Let's call it truce. But only until this mission's over.
Let's cut each other a little slack, shall we? We are gonna be traveling together after all. Per my agreement with Lesser Lord Kusanali, I'll be at the front. It's my job to lead the way and get rid of any obstacles in our path. All you have to do is keep your pretty eyes open and try not to fall behind.
You sure are confident. Paimon will give you that. You make it sound like you're even more experienced at adventuring than us.
If there are no further objections, I suggest we get going. Or did you need some time to mentally prepare yourselves?
Ew! Ugh, the snark on this guy. It's unbearable.
We can start now.
Irminsul access granted. Initiating connection procedure.
Is this a small sapling? Oh, darn it! Come on, let's catch up with him. Wow! So this is the inside of Irminsul. Ooh. Paimon's never seen anything like this. And it feels like a sacred place.
Irminsul is closely intertwined with the entirety of Teyvat. Every bit of information flowing here means something. Pick your jaws up off the floor. It's time to go.
Why is it that Paimon just wants to do the opposite of everything he says?
Lesser Lord Kusanali, we will now proceed to the heart of Irminsul.
Can you still sense where the heart of Irminsul is?
Yes. Permission to begin searching for information there?
Permission granted.
Let's go. Stay close. Don't go running off.
Hey, so... say we did go running off in here. What would happen? What are you smirking at?
I was just imagining the look on your travel companion's face if you went and got lost. Anything's possible in here. You can't rule anything out. So if you want to stay safe, your best option is to stick close to me.
These sapling things have spread out.
Those are all packets of information from inside Irminsul. Be careful not to touch them.
It looks the same in every direction. No wonder he mentioned about getting lost. Huh. What do you know? He was actually telling the truth. Is he mocking me again? What is it this time?
There's a time and a place to lie, but this definitely isn't it. So why don't you relax your guard a little? We're here.
What a huge treat!
Lesser Lord Kusanali,
Good, you made it. Are you ready?
ready when you are.
Then please begin. Preparing to access cognitive currents. Establishing waypoint.
The Balladeer's actually doing what Nahida tells him. Guess he must want to stay alive.
The rest is up to you. If you discover anything at all, make sure to share it with us.
Will do.
For once, we're the ones with nothing to do.
Traveler, Paimon, would you like to talk? Yes, I've also invited Paimon to join.
Huh? What the? We can talk to each other inside our heads?
That's part of it. Plus, we're all friends. There's nothing wrong with us talking like this once in a while.
Paimon's never tried this before. This is great! So, Paimon's been wanting to ask you something. Don't you think the Balladeer's a bit of a walking contradiction? He's always talking back, but he seems to listen to what you say.
As I've told you before, there are still some mysteries for him to resolve. Things that are clear as day to me, but that he has yet to understand. Perhaps today will be the day that he finds some answers. Well done. Smart and attentive as always. So, you made contact with that part of his mind. Well, it's true. Betrayal turned the Balladeer into the person he is today.
Huh. Paimon thought nothing could get under that guy's skin. Turns out, he can get hurt and angry just like anyone else.
Everyone has a history, Paimon. Even if you're a puppet created by the Electro Archon.
Speaking of puppets, we ran into two people at the Academia today talking about an essay. Turns out their topic was about the Tatara Suna incident. Nahida, do you know anything about that?
If you mean the mysterious events, the Kabuki Mono and so on, yes. I know about all of that.
Really? Because from what they were saying, it sounded like lots of Tatara Suna's history is still unexplained. And most of the information we have now is just from people filling the gaps with their imagination. At least that's what they thought.
Oh? How interesting. Those two managed to deduce quite a lot through guesswork alone.
So the Gesse got it right?
Well, they guessed right about one thing. Tatara Suna was sabotaged.
Must be a riveting conversation you three are having. Funny how all the good ones happen when I'm not involved.
What makes you think we're talking to each other?
Don't insult me. You're having a private conversation without me. Obviously, I must be the topic of said conversation. Of course you do. You can't have your prisoner knowing too much.
So, have you found anything yet?
Still looking. Don't get your hopes up, though. You and your twin come from outside this world. It wouldn't surprise me if there was nothing on either of you in Irminsul at all.
Wait! How did you know about that? Did Nahida tell you?
It's not like we've never met before. And anyway, you're world famous. It'd be more surprising if I didn't know a few things about you. Right now, we have to keep the peace. I'm not interested in creating more misery for myself. And making cordial conversation is something I can manage. Huh? Wait.
This light. It looks similar to those saplings. What could it be?
Anonymous data.
Hey, don't you forget the agreement! You have to share it with us!
Shh. Just wait.
Mr. Niwa, are you certain this is worth the risk? We are talking about Tatara Suna's furnace, after all. It may not pay to act rashly.
There's no one else who can enter the furnace. It has to be me.
Is that so? Well, since you insist.
It's...
Whoa!
I have been in Tatarasuna for some time now. You have shown me great hospitality, as has Mikoshi Nagamasa, and indeed, everyone else. Under your leadership, Tatarasuna is a warm, welcoming place, like a giant village. People are gainfully employed, their lives have purpose. They are motivated. As I understand, the Raiden Shogun has, in recent years, eliminated much of the evil that plagued Inazuma. As for Tatarasuna, it was originally established as a means of safely disposing crystal marrow. The forging industry with crystal marrow as a raw material has since flourished, giving rise to generations of swordsmiths. Some world-renowned, others unknown. All passing on their legacy. Skills, blood, dreams. Every smith brought into this trade looks to find their purpose between steel and blade. That is why you accepted the proposal brought to you by myself and Akame.
Yes, well, were it not for you coming to Inazuma and happening to make Akame's acquaintance, the two of you never would have joined forces. And he would be the first to admit that there's no way he could have revolutionized our forging process like this on his own. At least not on the same timescale. You allowed Akame to take all the credit for a method that you jointly developed. He sold it to me. And now, every piece of ore here is smelted using the new technique. Even now, you remain one of Tatarasuna's key consultants, working right here alongside us. I believe it is you, sir, who are truly responsible for the changes in our manufacturing and forging methods.
You flatter me. From the outset, I saw much that was commendable in the forging industry of Inazuma.
So you say, Escher.
My goods.
I tried to resist thinking it was all connected, because I didn't want to speculate. What have we gained from adopting your new technology? Ominous black smoke? Mounting production problems? And recently, as you well know, someone died. None of the people who went out to get help have come back. Now, our mutual friend, the Kabuki Mono, is taking the Golden Feather to Narukami Island to seek an audience with But that doesn't faze you, does it, Escher? Nothing
I'm just surprised that you finally chose to be so sincere.
Mikoshi Nagamasa may have noticed that there was one common denominator among all these events. Namely you.
After all, Nagamasa is the adopted son of Mikoshi Torachiyo, the yokai struck down by the Shogun's own hand. If he
You're well informed on the subtleties of his situation.
Why, Mr. Niwa, are you
Enough, Escher. I'm here because an evil force is raging inside the furnace. And someone needs to take... I'm in charge here. And I'm about to take...
Judging from the look in your eye...
Drop the act! We're past that now. Whoever you are, it looks like your plan to destroy Tatarasuna has worked. I just want to know what you're still doing here. What's left? Don't you have all your answers by now?
Honestly, I'm just waiting for the right moment. A moment like this.
You...
You're a little I thought I'd disguised myself exceptionally well. It's a long journey from Inazuma to Fontaine, but that didn't stop them. And yet, despite all of that, you still fail to realize my true identity, and what I seek in Tatarasuna.
If you kill me...
Oh, but you're quite wrong. There is one other person.
Whoever you're working for won't get away with this.
It's no trouble at all. If you must know, I'm happy to divulge my true identity. I'm a Fatui Harbinger.
The Fatui?
Just to create a...
That's it. That's why
Look how even the righteous soul... My device functions precisely as you say. It is easier for a person to be possessed by evil spirits when they are filled. Make no mistake, even without you, that pure, innocent puppet would only end up being used by...
He has nothing to prove to anyone.
What a beautiful way to see the world. Think of me as a monster or a demon. I say, Mr. Niwa, let's see what happens. Will your puppet, Mr. Niwa? Jester, I have completed the task you gave me. Creating a gap and infiltrating Inazuma. I'd like to introduce a puppet to you.
Hey,
Dottore. Good.
was that the doctor? Did he turn into a mechanic from But why did we see things from his perspective?
When I touched the doctor to confirm whether he'd eliminated all his segments, I read this memory in his mind. You have to admit, it must be the truth.
Maybe so. But it means nothing.
Does it? But this memory shows that Niwa didn't betray you. He never meant for you to be the one to take the device into the furnace. You know very well what that means. Even more so than I.
Let's give him some space. He looks really mad.
We need to give him some time to process his emotions.
Paimon's still confused about the Tatarasuna incident. So, the doctor was behind it, but why has that gotten him so worked up?
Nobody has ever deceived you like that, Paimon. It's natural that you find it difficult, so now you have the complete picture. Katsuragi took the Kabukimono to live with the people of Tatarasuna. Later, the doctor showed up, disguised as the mechanic from Fontaine. And that's when the trouble began. It was all a horrific experiment planned by the doctor. Everything he did was just to plant seeds of disaster in Inazuma that would bear fruit in the future. Of all the unwitting participants in the doctor, after the events you just saw in that memory, the doctor put Niwa's heart into the device and handed it to the balladeer. Then, he instructed him to enter the furnace and absorb all the filth caused by the smelting process. The load was far beyond what he expected, but the balladeer survived. The mechanic answered. Niwa fled this place for fear of punishment, but he left you a gift. He said it's the one thing that you've been looking for. He took it straight from the chest of one of his innocent servants. The mechanic removed the withered heart from the device as he spoke. The balladeer was stunned that such unthinkable cruelty had brought him the thing he'd been longing for. He thought Niwa had completely betrayed him, and yet this very betrayal had ensured his survival.
Holy moly. So the
Yes. Only it...
Dottore, you brazen-faced... Niwa didn't run from justice. You killed him.
Shall we see how he's doing? Hey, you alright? That's a scary expression.
Are you worried about me? If we didn't have such a history, I'd almost think that qualifies me to be your friend. It won't.
Hey, are you in the...
That's why we're here. But unfortunately, there's no information about the Descenders in Irminsul.
Even if you can't find anything, that seems to confirm it. Irminsul does not keep records on the Descenders. Anyone who comes from beyond this world is not counted as part of Teyvat.
Oh, does that mean we have to leave empty-handed?
Don't thank me just yet. You look really upset. Well, since Irminsul was a dead end, I guess I can share some other info that might interest you.
Huh? About what?
The reason why there are records about your brother in Irminsul. It might have something to do with Conria. Apparently, Conria was his first destination when he arrived in this world. Plus, he only came to this world because the heavens responded to the summoning.
The heavens responded?
The jester told me this himself. You can take his word on this. He was a royal mage in Conria, and lived with your brother for a time. I don't know the details. It's up to you whether you want to believe me. All I can say is, I wouldn't lie to you about this. Did you get all that, Lesser Lord Kusanali?
Yes. Astonishing news.
Does this info count towards my mission? It wasn't from Irminsul, but was it valuable?
Very valuable.
Good. In that case, I'll take some time for myself now.
Huh? What have you done?
Lesser Lord Kusanali was right. My power's all but completely spent. Even if I use all of the divine power left in me, I can't sustain this shield for very long. I shared a secret with you, and now you owe me. So in return, I'd like you to answer a question for me. Give me your hand. Can you hear my voice inside your head? No, I can't do anything like that anymore. At most, all I can do is exchange a few words with you. So tell me, in this world, is it possible to change the past? Done.
Huh? What the? What happened? Paimon only saw you hold hands for a second.
Nothing. I was just thanking her for helping me. So long. I suggest you get yourselves out of here quickly.
Where are you going? Hey, wait up! Didn't you say not to go running off?
Fast reaction time. But I don't think we'll be seeing each other again. From this day forth, the names Balladeer and Kabuki Mono will cease to exist. Those who died in Tatarasuna because of me deserve another chance at life.
Hey, Balladeer! Don't do anything stupid!
You know, I never did like insects. Hordes of the puny things swarming together can be a real nuisance. And I enjoy nothing more than to stamp them out like the pests they are. But if a colony of harmless ants isn't threatening anyone, I guess they deserve to be left alone. Luckily, everything can be set right. It's time to solve this once and for all.
Balladeer! Balladeer! Uh-oh, he disappeared. Come on, we gotta find him somehow. Oh no, he's really gone.
Oh, can you hear me?
Nahida!
Traveler, Paimon, Balladeer, what happened just now?
It was the Balladeer's fault.
I didn't think he'd be capable of something like that, but did he keep some of his power hidden when he was defeated?
Where the heck did he go?
Don't be. It's not your fault. We're running out of time.
We're out! And we're at...
This is an emergency. I'll have to ask you to stay here for now. Everything's arranged, and nobody will disturb you. I'm sorry, but this isn't something I need your help with.
an emergency?
Don't worry. If my assessment is correct, though there may be some minor
Her voice has gone. Paimon can't shake the feeling that something really big has... He wants to change the past? But surely that's impossible. Right! You can't just It's like, imagine Paimon drank all the water in this inn, even if no one was... So... Paimon really possible in Irminsul? Uh-oh. Ugh. Paimon's had it, but there's no way he'll actually succeed. There's nothing we can do about it at this point. Hey, have you got any ideas on what we should... Seems like now there's nothing left for us to do but to go to sleep. But Paimon's still so worried. Paimon won't be able to sleep a wink tonight. So, how about... Alright, Paimon will start. First dish. Andrean chili also... Paimon was, talking? Huh. Paimon suddenly can't remember what she was talking about. Is that a food? What's wrong? Your eyes are like saucers. Was it something... So, the balladeer. Okay, sure. Where are we going? Huh? Fine by Paimon, but is everything okay?
Ah, it's been a while. Of course. Go ahead. No. Now there's a question I wasn't expecting. The once renowned Raiden Gokuden, comprised of 5 branches. Amenoma, Futsu, Ishin, Hyakume, and Senju. The art of forging practiced by these 5 clans was first taught to them personally by the almighty Shogun. Over time, the 5 branches diverged from one another as generations of bladesmiths honed and perfected their craft until they became 5 distinct traditions. Most of the great swordsmith clans of old have since fallen, but fortunately, Kaedehara Kazuha recently returned to Inazuma and took up the mantle of the Ishin art. If my memory serves me right.
Oh yeah, we learned a bit about the decline of the Raiden Gokuden then too.
That, in fact, this was not made known to me for most of my life. He told me that, as we are both heirs to a branch, there is no harm in telling you the Raiden Gokuden were the targets of a murderous rampage.
Vengeful?
400 years ago, so I'm told, there was a catastrophic malfunction. Tatarasuna was home to a state-of-the-art forging and smelting operation in that day. Knowing that they had just one chance to save countless lives, Mr. the Smith's death, though heroic, dealt a devastating blow in his heart. The whole of Inazuma was culpable in his tragedy. He hated the almighty powerless and destitute. Alas, if only the story could have ended there. Finally, he made a drastic decision. In his fury, he murdered indiscriminately, killing even but when he came to the Kaedehara and Kamisato clans, his killing... That is why the Kaedehara clan and their Ishin are...
Was there anything else you wanted to ask?
Kazuha? Why, yes. My pleasure.
Don't tell Paimon. On to the next step.
Okay.
Traveler! It's been a while. If you're looking for the Commissioner and Miss Kamisato,
Are they out on business?
the Commissioner is out on business, and Miss Kamisato is standing in for...
What do you think? Shall we go in?
If it were anyone else, I couldn't allow...
We'll be heading in then.
Hello, dears. Is this... Of course, traveler. What would you like to know? Oh, they're both very well indeed. As for the commissioner himself, well,
So pretty much
very...
Well, got any more questions?
You're very welcome. In fact, I would Miss Kamisato talks about you all the time. She seems so thrilled to have you as a friend, and she's always saying how talented. I must say, many things in Inazuma seem to have taken a turn for the better since you arrived here. So you're not just Miss Kamisato. Whenever the commissioner dines at home, Toma always joins him. I always find myself at my most relaxed when I'm serving. The commissioner has such a busy schedule that they say it's because they get to talking about you sometimes. Miss Kamisato occasionally joins. It's been many years now. As someone who is old and gray enough to have... So, in the future, if you ever do have the time, please know you are always very wonderful.
Paimon likes it here too. Paimon's itching to try it. We may just have to invite ourselves around.
Of course.
Alright, goodbye for now. We're, great. Goodbye, ma'am. Don't worry, we'll see ourselves out.
All right, then.
Oh, are you two leaving already?
Yep, everything's...
Very well. Safe.
Well, here we are.
Do my eyes deceive me? Oh,
Xavier, what are you doing here?
I was in the general area, and now...
We have some questions and thought you might be able to help.
Certainly do. If there's anything you want to know, just ask away. Like the back of my hand. Not only that, but I've met people in Inazuma whose families used... Oh, well, I'm told that its history is one of the most foremost forging and smelting operations in the nation.
A couple?
One was just in the last few years, the other was several hundred years ago. They say he was a mechanic who consulted on a
Hey, weren't you gonna ask Xavier something?
Oh, I didn't realize...
Me neither. Paimon doesn't know what's gotten into...
What brought this on? Did you just wake up? Sure, go ahead. A kabuki mono? I do know the word. Inazuman for those eccentric types who always go around. But sadly, I've never had the pleasure. Of course!
Oh, we're leaving?
Oh, you're most welcome. Farewell.
Looks like you got all the information you're looking for. Sure, but keep your smile, Spinal Crocodile. No matter what happens, Hey, don't... Alright, let's head...
Hey, it's them!
Akaba, Sawada, you're still here?
Indeed we are.
We have time. What do you want to talk to us about?
It's the same topic we discussed last time.
Still looking for more info about Tatarasuna, huh? Should we join them?
Unfortunately, we haven't made any real progress. Huh?
I presume you'll want to read mine as well.
Well, what do you think?
Hey, Traveler, remember how last time Akaba was saying how he wished he could gather more information about all this? Well, we just got back from Inazuma, so how about we tell them what we learned?
What did you find out?
It's a long story.
Wow, so many.
Well, well. So it all comes down to one man's desire for revenge.
Ugh.
So there's no...
This new information actually lends further credence to my hypothesis. Evidently, swords...
Yes, okay, point taken, you were...
And they're back at it.
Oh, so sorry. Look at us.
You're welcome. See ya.
Keep us in the loop if you find out any...
Will do. Nahida, we're here!
Traveler, Paimon.
Ugh, where to start? Paimon hasn't had a moment's rest this whole time. That night...
The balladeer? You look troubled. Is... Traveler?
Hey, what's wrong? You...
That's quite a story. So, this puppet known as the ballad...
But how was he even able to do that?
As the Traveler said, he very nearly became Sumeru's deity. Nevertheless, it does make sense.
So, you believe this person really existed? And we...
Yes. Theoretically speaking, it is possible to do this. The Traveler comes from a world beyond to that. So if there's anyone in the world capable of retaining memories from a past that has been rewritten, it's you. It's quite incredible when you think about it.
Paimon's having a hard time understanding this.
I can only make inferences based on the information we've been given. As for what kind of person he was, only you remember that. Something else worrying you? Something that you can't share? It couldn't change the fate of the ones who had died. Once the balladeer realized he hadn't been betrayed after all, he couldn't keep hating humans after that. And the story makes sense. The balladeer tried to achieve godhood with the doctor's help. That power then enabled him to change what was recorded in Irminsul.
Yeah, it does make... It just feels so hopeless.
Please wait a moment. Found it. This should be the one. It turns out that I have a strange way of confirming everything she has told us.
What is it?
A record from a personal collection. It was tucked away in a corner. You should take a look.
Is this a fairy tale? Who wrote it?
I authored this record myself.
Huh? You?
When combined with the traveler's narrative, it's clear that this story is an allegory. Everything in it is a symbol for something else.
Hold on. So this record survived from the past?
Yes. Any information about the balladeer or the kabuki mono in other records will have been changed. But I wrote this story in a way that means it was left intact. Changing the information in Irminsul changes to that. But Irminsul can't change information that was well hidden in advance. I guess I must have written this story as a backup before the balladeer entered Irminsul.
That's incredible!
And sending the traveler into Irminsul with the balladeer must have been a further precaution. This story is abstract enough that it still resonates with the present information recorded in Irminsul. But if we connect all the different pieces together, the true story that emerges is the one she told us. The now erased life of the balladeer. There was once a lone monster draped in fox fur. The monster found a family of foxes, joined them, and they became friends. The monster lived with the family day and night, and everyone treated it as one of their own. Once in a while, the monster would take off its fox fur at night and lament to itself as it gazed at its reflection in the water. I am a monstrosity. Yet they are too foolish to see it. I pity them. But the monster soon found solace when another came to live among the foxes who was not their kin. A kitten, carved from the wood of a white tree who had been abandoned by the humans. The kitten too wished to become a fox, but its tail was too slender and it could not grow a coat of richly colored fur. Yet when the other foxes saw this, they spoke words of comfort to the kitten. Even without a tail and fur like ours, you are still one of us. Furious at this happy resolution, the monster lit a fire on the mountain. The terrified animals panicked as the fire spread. The only way to extinguish the flames was to make a sacrifice. A gray fox stood up and addressed the monster. It said, "You are the cleverest among us. Surely you can help us find a way to solve this." The monster smiled, led the fox toward the fire, and murdered it. The gray fox's heart was turned into a beautiful drop of water, clear, spotless, and pure. The monster gave the heart of water to the kitten, telling him, "The foxes have decided. You are the one who must be sacrificed. Take this, quench the flames, and die for your fox kin." The fire was extinguished, but the kitten lived. It left that side of the mountain and found a little bird who had a broken wing. The two promised they would spend their whole lives together, but the little bird did not have long left to live. It passed away soon after. After burying the bird, the kitten left the mountain for good. Never again would it cherish a single creature, nor a single blade of grass that stood on that mountain. The kitten spent the nights wandering aimlessly, gnashing its teeth at the moon. How it wished to swallow the moon and devour the moonlight. If the world could only return to darkness, then it would finally be peaceful and content. I will become the new moon, the answer to everything. Then, no one will know that there were once birds, foxes and cats in this world. And no one can know that they were different.
We solved it!
I remember now. This is not just the Balladeer story. It is his very own memories. I made a backup so that it would be preserved no matter what happened. To become a god, he was experimented on and modified countless times. This memory was extracted from him by the scholars. Creating a deity was just the first step. Some of them wanted to be able to control. I buried it deep inside one of my own dreams.
It's hard to believe that this person really existed. Paimon has no memory of it.
The Balladeer agreed to help me look for information about the... Before he vanished, he confirmed an important... We still don't know how the change to Irminsul will affect the senior ranks of the Fatui, but in all likelihood, they won't even remember their own Harbinger.
It sounds like Paimon wouldn't like this guy a whole lot if he was still around.
This is why wisdom alone cannot answer all our questions. So the answer is not everything. When you give someone the truth, to others looking on, this may seem like a pointless endeavor, but for him, the chance to act on his desire to disappear. Never forget that even when we walk beneath dark clouds along a road filled with suffering, and that is what you have been doing all along.
Yeah, Nahida's right. Cheer up!
Good idea. Paimon.
You got it! Come on, Traveler! You need to... Let's go get a snack from one of the stalls in the Grand Bazaar! That'll be sure to lift our spirits! It must be really tough being the only one who remembers all that, but Paimon's always here to help cheer you up. What should we eat first? Hey, are you gonna answer or what? Alright, whatever you want. Well, Paimon will be right here when you figured stuff out. Then we can get something to eat. What is it? Have you figured it all out? Why'd you jump up all of a sudden?
Excuse me, boss. There seems to be a small problem with the last bill. Look, here.
Hey! Hey, wait!
Hmm? You mean me?
No, not you. That kid! Didn't you... Look, if you're gonna help out here, you can't keep...
I wasn't paying close enough attention. I think you're right.
Who's that guy? You know him or something? He's who?
You're a strange one, kiddo. You say you don't want any money for help. I don't want to take advantage, so I'm happy to pay you what I...
No, please. I mean it.
You're welcome, I guess. But I got bigger things to worry about.
Leave it to me. I'll find...
Stop. I'm gonna level with you, kiddo. I've never met... You don't want money. You don't take days off. And in your free time, all I see you do is wander...
That's right. We can talk more about that later.
Hey, what do we do now? Okay, stay out of...
Yeah. This'll...
Even though you say he's the balladeer, what do we... Oh, alright.
This should be enough. Guess I should wash them before I take them back. Huh? You two over there. You've been following me all the way from the city. No, we haven't met. I have no recollection.
Are you
Sorry, but I just can't take your...
a puppet?
Huh?
You were right.
I guess you do know me after all. Look, I'm just a wanderer. But seeing as you've gone through all this trouble to track me... Okay, but...
Are you really working for that guy?
Yes, I ran into him out in the wilderness during a storm.
That's...
Let me take these back. Then I'll come with you.
Then let's return to the city.
Here you go, boss.
Oh, you really went and picked...
Something's come up, and they need to borrow me.
I was just about to pay you anyway.
What?
I get it, okay? You just wanted to help me out. But look, it was pouring down, and there you were. Imagine you and me for a second. It's a little weird. But anyway, taking you in didn't put me out even slightly.
But I don't... No. Then I suppose this is where we sit.
Don't mention it, kiddo.
Thank you. All right, done.
What's wrong? Huh? Are you?
Hello. I do...
We found this guy in the street, but he doesn't seem...
You say that you're trekking across Teyvat to train yourself. Many other Inazumans who describe themselves in this way call themselves Shugenja.
Well, it seems more relevant in my case. But these two claim that they know me.
I wouldn't call it the... I don't like to rely on using terms like this often, but in your case, it seems that It ought to be called, previous incarnation.
Oh, like a past life or something?
Yes, something far more distant than the past.
Okay, I have to. Oh, you want to tell me, but you can't bring yourselves to say it. If it's that difficult to talk about, but I'll be able to handle it.
Is truth something you can...
Yes.
Then I'll be straight with you. You nearly died because of what other people did. And you drifted from place to place, never able to settle, even where you found status. Actions rooted in persistence sometimes bear bitter fruit. Sometimes, you have to let parts of yourself go, or you'll never be happy.
I gave everything I had.
In terms of the outcome alone.
I don't think I can judge everything I've heard. Each choice a person makes belongs to a specific place and time.
That is the nature of truth. If one thing is right, its opposite must be wrong. And yet, dichotomies like this are not an...
It seems like my previous incarnation wasn't the most likable individual.
We're not trying to hurt your...
If we were enemies, why...
This is so frustrating! He's got so much to answer for, but...
Lesser Lord Kusanali.
Yes, it's all true.
Please, I want to see...
Even though it will cause your present self great...
I'm just a puppet. With no heart and no name.
Very well.
Wait, shouldn't we go with...
Don't worry. Whatever...
Traveler, could I ask you to supervise...
Oh, good point.
Understood.
Thank you.
No matter what lies ahead, I'll face it.
It's time to get ready.
I won't hold you back. Much.
This looks like Inazuma.
Right now, you're in a dream I created using information extracted from your memories. These memories will show you the raw truth.
Sounds like an immersive experience.
You don't need to do this for me.
We never give up halfway. Well, we had to once, but...
All right.
Wanderer, this is the Shake Pavilion. In your Balladeer incarnation, this is where the...
Is that because...
You could...
I hear footsteps.
This place is huge. I can't believe the landslide didn't fill it in. No, there's no way. Look at this. There's... You're awake. What? Huh? No.
This man is Katsuragi, deputy to Torichio's adopted son, Mikoshi Nagamasa. He found the Balladeer in Shake Pavilion,
and the rest is history.
In the original version of events, Katsuragi was ultimately killed by Nagamasa.
Let me get you out of here.
During the Tatarasuna incident, Niwa was murdered by the doctor, disguised as a mechanic. The Balladeer, then known as the second-in-command at Tatarasuna, responsibility for what had happened fell to Mikoshi Nagamasa. But Katsuragi had sworn lifelong loyalty to Nagamasa after the latter had once saved his life. At Katsuragi's insistence...
Katsuragi seems like he was a good guy.
He looks like a warrior, but he has a kind face. Why couldn't he live a long and happy life?
Nagamasa, I found this young guy in a cave sealed off by a landslide. He doesn't remember his name.
Well, we need to call you something. I hear the workers are calling you the Kabuki Mono.
That's fine with me.
Katsuragi, report to Niwa. Tell him we have someone new joining us.
Huh? What are we doing back here?
Whoa, this is where you were born?
I was abandoned, like you.
Okay. I heard my mom and dad used to make swords, but the factory manager, he kept coughing all the time.
But you can't.
Yup,
This child didn't have a name. Or rather, after his mother died, the child stayed after leaving Tatarasuna, the balladeer.
What happened to the child?
He died from his illness while he was still very young.
Hey! What's wrong? Say something! You promised me we could be family!
You're no different from Niwa and all the others. The voices have gone.
Let's keep going.
You do realize you're blocking my path.
I come not to obstruct you. I've been waiting. What you are truly is a weapon. One that could be wielded with an iron will. Or you could continue to drift aimlessly.
Are you trying to win me over?
The long-fated rebellion has begun. Why not take your place at the banquet and join those who shall feast?
Midnight Phantasmagoria!
I see through you, Toby! Killjoy!
Freeze to the core! Beg for mercy.
I miscalculated.
This place is dark.
Paimon in the original version of events.
Such a creepy atmosphere. Hey, look over there!
Well, well, my fair lady. Is this rundown factory and these incompetent fools all for me?
Huh. What do you have to gain from belittling your subordinates? Perhaps you find fighting in the abyss to be a more meaningful use of your time? Oh, but of course, even this pales in comparison to being experimented on by the doctor.
What a sharp... Funny how negotiating never seems to be your strong suit. For the task ahead, I suggest you keep your true feelings to yourself.
Save your breath. I know what I have to do.
I'm sure you think so, but I still think you need to hear it. Don't start the...
Surely you're not...
I just can't have you getting in my way.
I'm merely lighting a little fire in this chaotic nation. But you, being taught... Do you remember the last time you were here? That was a lot of swordsmiths you killed. I'm sure the descendants of the Raiden Gokaden are still suffering the consequences now. Look at you. Oh, don't get by then. See you at the victory feast.
Poor little tongue? Forget it.
The plot does not end here. There is more of this story to come.
Yes. Please don't...
Why are you staring at me in silence? Can't you think of a nicer way to express yourself?
I'm under no obligation to be nice to you. Besides, I thought nothing mattered to you except results and your own interests. Isn't that right? Witch?
Muddle-headed puppet. You're only number 6 because you can take more abuse than other humans. Do you really count that as an asset?
You're about as much fun to be around as a raging inferno. But before we murder each other, it'd be best if we finish our duties.
Good grief! Go as one! Crush! Let's light it up!
You can't run from death.
Looks like we have arrived in Sumeru. Is that?
Considering that Amorta's sage, Nafis, refused to join this project, I'll take part in the experiment in his place.
Welcome. I look...
When do we start?
You seem impatient.
The biological transformation is a lengthy process. As such, I too would recommend that we commence as soon as possible, in the event that a successful...
Nothing worse than what I've been through.
You were the most resilient test subject I ever came across. Thanks to you, I was able to... Alas, after that, you were under orders to remain in the Abyss. We barely saw each...
That was gracefully worded. Ever wonder what they think if they knew that nothing matters to you?
I suggest you speak to me in a more respectful tone, Scaramouche.
The doctor again?
That person gives off a very sinister...
It's normal for him to give you the creep.
Let's move on.
You're a god. Do you think I'm evil?
If you accept that he is you, just as you are you, then yes, you are evil.
In your eyes? Are there...
Do you think there are any differences between your present self and your previous and future incarnations? If not, then what are the differences between humans and puppets? Whoever has tasted the joys and sorrows of life in the human realm is human. Whoever has loved and lost, cried with grief, howled with rage at the tragedy of death that eclipses the miracle of life, they are human too.
I've seen enough of my past. If possible, I'd like to reclaim the sins that are mine to bear. No matter the consequences, I won't run from blame or punishment. Whatever I am due, let it come to pass. Can you return my memories to me?
Huh? But won't that mean you'll lose your current identity?
I've always believed that human lives follow a set of rules, with each person being a collection of past experiences. As a puppet living in a human world, my life is subject to the same rules.
Regaining your memories means reverting completely to your previous incarnation. All the emotions that you discarded will return to you. Are you sure you want to do this?
I've lived with the void in my chest my whole life. My creator didn't need me. And ever since I awoke, I've just drifted from one place to the next. But then I met you. And I finally realized that reclaiming my missing sins might be my one opportunity to become my true self. I've always felt I have an innate tendency to yearn for something more, in a way that goes deeper than for most people. But for all my soul-searching as a Shugenja, I've never fully understood it. Looking at it now, it seems that I brought this curse upon myself. So I beg you, grant me this opportunity to gain a purpose, to change my destiny, and end my wandering.
Very well. Since your mind is made up, I will return to you that which is yours. You have made your decision. Now, take this.
Set him free?
A puppet? What's he doing here? You're a human as far as I'm concerned.
Everyone's here. Wonderful.
What a fine blade. Nagamasa will be thrilled.
This is my...
Is he alright?
All worthless dross will be purged. That's why this won't be the end. This is trying my patience.
Have you got all your memories back now?
You got any more stupid questions? Behold, human! The wind rises. At my command, you shall fall! Squall and Fury! Churn! Quit following! My endless cycle begins! The wind rises. Squall and Fury! Imbecile! Get out of my sight.
It disappeared. Did we win?
What did you expect? I'd never lose to that.
There's the tone of voice again. You're definitely back to your old self. Wait, but it was you inside that thing too. What have you got to be smug about?
Sorry. I'm harsh on myself and everyone else. Just the way I am. You sound like you're concerned about me, but don't worry. Thanks to you, even if I didn't change a thing, at least I now know the truth.
The memory recovery seems to have been a success. This dream has served its purpose.
Come on. Let's continue this outside.
Welcome back, Traveler, Paimon, Balladeer.
It feels like we just went on a really long journey. Paimon's exhausted.
You don't like being addressed by that name?
It's fine. But I was just thinking, I should probably change it. After learning about everything the doctor did, there's no way I can carry on using a name connected to him. I'm not planning on returning to the Fatui, and they wouldn't take me back anyway. Recent events will have affected a lot of people, and they might not even remember who the Sixth is.
So, you're quitting the Fatui for good?
It's like you said, Lesser Lord Kusanali. Everything may look futile, but it wasn't completely meaningless. At least I made a lot of people forget about me.
But that doesn't mean your own past has disappeared.
Of course.
And your main goal, for which you gave up everything you had, you weren't able to achieve it. I hope you can see and understand that. Changing the world, changing the past, changing the fates of other people, these are not simple things to accomplish. What you are looking for is complete annihilation. But this is just a fantasy. Even if the Balladeer is removed from existence, the world will not heed your will.
Indeed. How ridiculous.
Do you regret doing all that when you've gotten so little in return?
Even if I'm completely worthless, there's nothing in the world worth regretting. Lesser Lord Kusanali, you purposely left that information in Irminsul, didn't you?
Yes, and I took pains to make sure that you'd acquire that information naturally.
Why would you go to such lengths?
In all honesty, your past experiences have made you a useful asset to Sumeru and to me. Winning you over was indeed a part of my plan. But before that, I wanted to tell you the truth about your past. If all I wanted to do was use you, then I'd be no different from the doctor.
Very clever.
I guess you could say that's one of my virtues.
Utility to others is what gives me worth. So if embracing my sins is what it takes to make me useful again, so be it. Oh right, I almost forgot. You're the good guys. You're into justice and all that. Sorry if I have a slightly different perspective on things, but I don't feel like I've been duped. The wisest leaders are fated to end up with the best helpers. I can live with that.
I'm glad you're able to think of it in that way. Traveler, in the future, I'll continue to search Irminsul more deeply and see what secrets can be uncovered, including the beginning of your twins' journey recorded in Irminsul. What exactly happened before and after that point? I want to know as well. I will try.
Traveler. After I dove into the information torrent in Irminsul, why did you go to Inazuma? So that's how you found out whose fate had changed. And how? Well, whatever your reasons, you did me a favor. And I'll do everything I can to pay it back. Borrowing and returning are the only real relationships between individuals. I'll balance the books one day. Don't you worry.
That's not true. A relationship between two people is not simply a ledger that can be reset to zero. I think deep down you realize this. People who show up in your life don't just evaporate like water drops and leave nothing behind. There is no such thing as balancing the books. Some things in this world can never be brought back, and they can never be changed, which is why there is emotion in the human world. Everything that you feel is real and lasting, and whatever is missing in you will not be made whole. To be human is to live with imperfections. You can choose whether or not you want to be human.
But humans can't live without a heart, can they? Anyway, I gave up trying to become a human a long time ago.
You understand what pain is perfectly well, even without a heart. You're just bearing your feelings. The past is set in stone, but you can keep moving on. And the longer your future lasts, the shorter your past will become, until one day, it is but a tiny fraction of your life.
Sounds like you've got a future planned out for me.
Everything's ended up being pretty darn complicated. Paimon doesn't even know where to start, but the most important thing now is that you need to follow Nahida. Otherwise, all our efforts will have been for nothing.
Then I guess I'll be helping you from behind the scenes from now on.
I'm glad that you've accepted our proposal. Why don't you choose a new name to celebrate?
Ooh! Paimon wants to pick an ugly nickname for you, too!
Why?
Because Paimon still doesn't like you that much.
Then I hope we don't see much of each other in the future.
A name is life's first gift. You didn't say it out loud, but I know that's what you're thinking. The Traveler and Paimon have helped you a lot. If you can't decide on a new name, maybe you can ask them for ideas.
No! Paimon only does nicknames! If it's a serious name you're after, it's all yours.
Have you got anything? Are you sure? Oh, all right. If you say so.
There. Now you have a name of your own.
What about a nickname? Are you done yet?
Still thinking. Stop rushing me!
Take your time. I don't need to see you again until you've thought of one. Everyone who manipulated me and made me suffer will have to pay the price.
You mean the Fatui?
The doctor, at least.
Now that your stance has changed, I believe your future path will change accordingly. But it won't be immediate. You still need some time to compose yourself.
One more thing. There are still some descendants of the Raiden Gokuden living in Inazuma. Some of them, I don't plan to leave Sumeru for the time being. If you see them in Inazuma, even though the events have been erased from the world...
I see. That is a...
Huh? But if we...
It's fine. Let them stab their blades into my chest if they so desire. Maybe that's how it always should have been. What's that look for? Don't make that face. I know what I'm doing. That day will come. Alright. We're done here. Goodbye, wise deity. And you too.
He's gone!
What he went through today would have been like living an entire lifetime in an instant. He'll need some time to calm down.
Yeah, true. But even so, after everything that's happened, he doesn't seem quite as fierce anymore. So we can finally go eat? Paimon is starving.
Thank you both. I hope you will find somewhere nice to go and relax for a while.
I've got it! I can end my novel with some words from Mikoshi Nagamasa.
You mean because everyone else in the story is dead?
Yeah, I heard that Mikoshi Nagamasa died at a ripe old age. He's the perfect fit to be the narrator of the epilogue. The dark clouds had dissipated, but they continued to cast their shadow in Mikoshi Nagamasa's mind for decades to come. Then, one night, as an old man, he had a dream. On the night when that prized blade, the Daitatara Nagamasa, was forged, the people rejoiced, and there was painting, dancing, and all these expressions of joy melted down in the furnace fire and turned into red clouds that rallied around the final sunrise that Mikoshi Nagamasa saw in his lifetime. Life is a story too long to be told, a journey that you must walk to behold.
It's about time we had a break. As soon as you stop, all the tiredness and hunger comes rushing back. Wow, great! Huh? Look at that vase. Did someone break it while they were cleaning the room or something? Like, Paimon doesn't remember there being a cleaner.
You sound lost and confused. I know why you are troubled. Any who knew of this would find their mind overwhelmed.
Huh? Is there someone here talking to us?
Unfortunately, the fate of Teyvat cannot easily be changed. Perhaps a god may have a slim chance, but for anyone else, who can say? When a small animal runs into a tree trunk, though the tree may sway, it is not displaced. The same is true of fate, like a vase that falls to the ground. Whether it is broken by a cat or by a bird, the result is still a broken vase, is it not?
Who are you? How do you know about all this?
History does not change easily, but human hearts can. Believe your own eyes. Only that which you see is true. What is unseen is but an illusion.
The voices disappeared. And who the heck was that? And what were they doing coming out of nowhere and saying all that scary stuff? Anyway, that vase is still lying there broken on the ground. Should Paimon go get someone to clean it up? It feels wrong just leaving it there. Just a moment. Paimon will be right back.
So, Sucrose, the package you mentioned that you need to be careful when you're opening packages. I once had a friend. Once I opened it, if your package contains anything like that.
No, this package didn't.
Timaeus! Sucrose! What are you two chatting about?
Oh, hey, you two. We're just talking about
A strain?
Yes. I believe it's from a Sumeru scholar who came here to study in Mondstadt.
Huh? A package from an academia scholar?
There wasn't anything dangerous inside. I think I've seen Timaeus with some similar-looking cards before.
You've seen me with some cards?
No, they didn't.
Oh, you meant these?
No, never. Recently, I've been spending all my time up in the mountains working on cultivating pentatonic sweet flowers. Why?
You could definitely say that it's called Genius Invocation TCG.
Genius Invocation TCG! Yeah, we've been hearing about this game all... We didn't know it had made it all the way to...
That's right. The game's been catching on lately. The Yae publishing house in Inazuma. It starts with a young guy in Sumeru who finds an ancient casket of tomes in the attic. He opens it and discovers that the soul of it. It turns out that the Crocodile King was King Deshret's viceroy, who battled an opponent named the Ibis King. During the match, the crocodile, after being unexpectedly released by the kid, the crocodile...
Timaeus.
Huh? What's wrong?
No. I was just thinking...
Well, I did go through a phase...
Well...
Oh?
Well... Since it's a gift from a researcher I've collaborated with.
Oh, right! And since it's a game from Sumeru... Okay, fine. Paimon's kid... Although... It seems like we can't...
Well, research is my priority. But if you'd like to learn the rules of Genius Invocation TCG, then I'd actually suggest you go to the Cat's Tail. Yep, that's the place. It's where everyone in the community goes to play when they have time. They're trying to learn the rules.
Understood. Traveler, Paimon, let's go to the Cat's Tail and try asking around. To be honest, hearing to...
Well, what are we waiting for?
Welcome to the Cat's Tail. Ah, it's the Traveler and Paimon. What a nice surprise. Oh, and Sucrose the Alchemist. It's been a while, hasn't it? I'm afraid I've already told you before. Fur from the Cat's Tail staff.
Don't worry.
Sucrose.
Oh, I just want to... Actually, Margaret, we're here...
Ah, Genius Invocation TC. You see, more and more people have been gathering at the Cat's Tail to... Speaking of which, You know, Prince. This is the Cat's Tail after all, so I thought having a cat take care...
Allow me to interpret. Prince says that the word customer is much too loose of a term, and we should instead refer to anyone who loves dueling...
My mistake. So it seems I haven't introduced you yet.
I'm afraid I must correct you there, ma'am. Only Prince, the strongest and most formidable TCG player of all. The average player is incapable of grasping the subtlety and sheer genius behind Prince's every play.
Wow! Another...
How can you use such a crude word as animal to describe the one... Oh? What's that? Shu Yen.
It seems he really is...
Seriously, how can he get all of that from a simple...
Yes, it was the Sacred Duels of Genius Invocation, TCG, that...
So, playing...
somehow...
Anyway, if you'd like to know anything about... Though I'd love to explain more myself, it's time for my...
Just as a seasoned warrior can foresee the path of his opponent...
Oh, Prince doesn't want to play with...
I'm sorry, but from the day I met the mighty Cardmaster Prince, I swore an oath that my...
If Prince is unwilling to play, then I...
Yeah, blah, blah, blah. What is it? I'm pretty busy over here, you know. Huh. Why is it that every player that sets foot in here to play Genius and... Seriously, games and...
What can I say? As the tavern... Anyway, I see you've been working hard, so I thought you could use a...
Ha! Ha! Oh, why are we letting all these loafers come in here to play Genius? You know, if drink sales keep going up like this, pretty soon...
My dear, you are quite mistaken. You said it. Prince speaks the truth, Diona. Not only is the spread of Genius Invocation TCG no obstacle...
Could it really?
Sure, why not? Alrighty then, our two
But
Shuyan, drink mixing.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, all right. Okay, let's go through the rules. Yes? You should have built a deck, you know. What's with the blank stares? Come on. Don't tell me you came to learn Genius Invocation TCG without bringing any cards. Yeah, we need to practice. Psh, there's no such thing. Okay, let me think. Oh, that reminds me. A few days ago when I was closing up for the night...
Are you sure that's okay?
It's already been a few days and he still hasn't come... Oh, okay, yeah, I got them here with me. You know. All right, so now we have 2 Yep. So, are you ready to start? All right, then let's begin. Welcome to the world of Genius Invocation TCG. Simply put, this is a game where you control character cards to duke it out with your opponent. Pew, pew, pew. Once you've defeated all of your opponent's character cards, victory shall be yours. Now then, you're gonna need a character on the field to start with.
Let's go.
First, we roll 8 elemental dice at the start of every round. These dice correspond to elemental energy. We'll be spending these dice to perform actions. Once the roll phase is over, you'll enter the action phase, where the real game starts. During the action phase, you can spend elemental dice to perform various actions. Of course, the most common action is to use character skills. Not bad. You just made your first attack. During the action phase, both sides will take turns making their moves. After you use a skill to attack your opponent, and as you can see, once the enemy... Now, these are Omni-Element dice. They can be spent on any move regardless of the elemental type. So, we're gonna use them to pay for the pyro dice needed for this skill. Go on, give it a try. That was pretty, but the game has all... As much... After you end round, you won't... And once everyone chooses end round, we can move on to the next round. And a fresh new round means... Ooh, that's some terrible luck. But don't worry, situations like these are why we have the option to reroll. Once per round, you can select all the dice that you don't like and reroll them. When the action phase begins, the player who first chose end round in the previous round takes their turn first. This means that since you finished first the last... Alrighty then, let's look. Each time you use a skill, your character will gain 1 energy. Once Diluc's energy is full, he can use... Never mind, let's start with a normal attack instead. Diluc's normal attack only needs 1 pyro die and 2 other dice of any type. In any case, your normal attack needs fewer pyro dice than your elemental skill. Now it's time to use your...
Time for retribution!
In an actual game of Genius Invocation TCG, you need to use... Next up, Oh, it seems like any move by Kai is going to cost quite a lot of cryo dice. When you deal cryo damage, you'll cause your target to be affected by cryo.
Dodge this!
Good! Now our opponent is affected. Different types of an elemental reaction will be... At the moment, your opponent is affected by cryo, so we should try and use a Oh, that reminds me! Both sides must have 1 active character, while others are considered standby characters. Normally, we can only use the active character skill. Now, if we want to use the skills of our standby character, we'll have to switch them to the active character. In this case, we'll have to switch to Diluc in order to use his skills. You can spend 1 elemental die of any kind to switch a standby character to the active character.
Let's go.
Switching characters is an action, just like using a skill. Most skills can only target the... Alright then, now that... Because the opponent is already affected by cryo, dealing pyro damage triggers the Melt Elemental reaction. When triggered, Melt increases damage dealt by 2. This will allow you to deal loads of damage in one go! Haha! Genius Invocation's elemental reaction system is pretty cool! All right! Next up, these cards are all... Each time a match starts, you have to draw 5 action cards to form your starting hand. Uh-oh. we don't have any elemental dice we can spend to make an attack. Seriously? We still don't have any usable dice even after that reroll? Well, never mind. You don't underestimate action cards. So playing this action card will require 2 of these. See the symbol? Yeah, that means you'll need to play elemental dice of the same type. Some other cards will cost you these instead. The cost requirements for these are much more lenient. You can spend any kind of elemental dice. We'll cross that bridge when we get there, though. For now... So, playing an action card from your hand is a form of fast action. Simply put, you can continue to act even after playing an action card. But wait, Diluc's elemental skill costs 3 Well, not a problem. By discarding 1 card from your hand, you can convert 1 elemental die into the element of your current active character. And this card isn't useful right now. So, we might as well use it for elemental tuning. Sometimes, you won't be able to perform any actions you want to because Ingenious Invocation T's... In this case, well, just like playing cards from your hand, elemental tuning is a fast action. Come on, hurry up! Use elemental tuning to get yourself 3 pyro dice. Well, would you look at... Because you have the White Iron Greatsword equipped, Searing Onslaught will deal 1 extra damage! What? Now comes the final part! Hoo-yeah! In a real match, you can make adjustments to your initial hand. At this time, we can select any number of cards in our hand to shuffle back into the draw pile, and then draw the same number of new cards. Once you have confirmed any adjustments you wish to make to your starting hand, both players have to select their starting active character at the same time. Oh boy, this one's a real doozy. We gotta take it out pronto. Let's see how you do this time. Remember, start by selecting your initial starting character.
Let's finish this, swiftly.
Look at you! You can preview your opponent's actions. That is to say, check it out. So here's where you can see all your opponent's intended actions for the reference this to come up with a Well then, that's the end.
Ready when you are.
Wait. There's one. Every time you hit an end phase, remember, you have to make use of both your elemental dice and your...
Let's go. All right, cool. Though, what we just played was an adventure challenge designed specially for new players. Genius Invocation TCG can be played in duel mode, where each player brings 3 character cards, or in adventure challenge mode, with a fixed deck for each challenge. But the rules are all the same.
Although I feel there are still many details.
That was quite the detailed explanation.
What? Oh, when did you get here?
I stepped in while you were in the middle of your explanation. I hope I didn't dampen the mood.
You snuck in without making a sound. Anyway, what are you doing here?
The Cat's Tail is a player in Mondstadt's alcohol industry. I'm here today to discuss a few items of business with Margaret.
Too bad she just left. But if you head off right now...
Never mind, it's nothing urgent.
Wait, this card? It's Diluc's character card!
Although I have some degree of experience with Genius Invocation.
A customer left it behind a few days ago.
Oh? And...
He wasn't wearing an eye patch, okay? He had a light complexion and a super serious look on his face. He wasn't much...
Eye patch, you say?
I was trying to get...
Don't worry. Somehow...
So, what about the Diluc character card?
I don't mind. It's just a card with my image on it.
I didn't expect Diluc to be familiar with Genius Invocation TCG.
The game has been catching on lately. It's hard to go anywhere without hearing it mentioned. Every now and then, I'll sit down and play a game with the customers in Angel's Share.
I was hoping we could play a game, but this issue of someone... It's getting late, and someone has some explaining to do. We'll have to have that duel another time. Good. Then I'll take my leave.
You know where the door is. Don't let the door hit you. Uh-oh. Guard Captain.
I hope Kaya will be alright. Well, now that we are familiar with the...
Ooh, 2 new players have... But, in order to play an official duel, remember, a complete deck has to have 3 character cards and 30 action cards. Got it?
Then, let's use my cards. These were mixed in with all the others I had received. And I didn't know what they were for at first. But now that we've learned the rule, now... It looks like we each have the Kaya, Diluc, and Sucrose character card. All right.
Unlike the adventure challenge, in a duel, your opponent can also use action cards at the same time. Your opponent must also spend
Let's finish this, swiftly.
Stand clear.
Let's go.
Need to make adjust. Darn. I didn't factor that into the equation. I want to help. Stand clear.
Cool it!
Swirl, Mark 2.
Let's go. Freeze!
Burn! Don't push your luck. I'm not done.
Oh, I wasn't expecting that.
Ready when you are.
Dodge this! Where did I go wrong?
I can't believe I lost. Every decision is a difficult trade-off in this game.
That's not how the rules work, Sucrose. Don't be a...
Oh, I am sorry, but it was a fun match.
Paimon didn't know you could...
I always get... It's like that with my research, too. It always...
Yeah, Lost Spirit Alchemy and playing cards is no different. Seizing victory through a winning combination.
But what if...
A losing streak, yeah. That'll definitely get you down. But it's way better to keep trying until you win than to just accept you're a plain...
You make it...
Besides, Sucrose, you're already making great progress. It'd take at least 8 of our regular booze hounds to match your level. You played well.
Thank you.
I'm good. Having fun is the main thing. If you ever want to play again in the future,
I'll definitely be back.
All right. I think you should have all the basics down by now. I need to get back to bartending. Shian's likely been busy making his tavern more popular with his delicious cocktails. Pui, pui, pui. Huh. Burning Mondstadt's wine industry to the ground keeps me
I see. So you have now grasped the rules of genius.
That's right! The Traveler, Paimon?
Becoming a TCG sobering words from Prince there. But I'm afraid he's right. To become... Yes, although to be... Basically, to become an official...
So, you...
The duel you just played can count towards this talent. I agree. Although I didn't get to observe the match myself,
Same way you can...
A well-trained ear is a basic skill expected of anyone hoping to... Sucrose, you may have lost the last duel, but first things first... Ah, yes, my goodness. Completely slipped my mind. I'm lucky to have Prince here to remind me.
Oh, Timaeus mentioned it, didn't he?
Oh, that's right! So the casket...
Well, actually, all...
Oh! Paimon can guess what you're gonna say next!
That would mean an extraordinarily high number of...
Darn! What a letdown. Alright, now
All caskets of tomes, probably for the best. If Prince and I were responsible for... Okay, so go and see Margaret to claim your casket of tomes.
But even for the Traveler, that's...
I shall choose the final Excellent plan, Prince.
Hello, you three. Has little Diona finished teaching? Ah, I see you're here for your casket of...
So this is a casket of...
That's right. A purpose-built case for your card deck that can even detect when someone...
Yeah, well, even...
True. So I'm glad that these customers, you're not wrong, but that's...
All right. In that case, I'll go find some people to play. Thanks. I'll do my best.
It's been getting quite busy recently.